You gotta think all I've known for the past like years is
Let me
football.
let me tell you a good football story. So,
You tell me one, I'll tell you one.
no, this is about going to a football game.
All going.
Yes. So, my wife went to App, and we went up to the ball game with a buddy of mine who I always get in trouble with. Like, she knows it's going to happen, and so we went up there, and we stayed in the mountains, and my dad had a place up there, and we got really, really, really smashed, and we were in the hot tub one time, and sitting there, and we thought it was on top of the mountain at Sugar Mountain. We're like, hey, let's go sledding. And we were in the hot tub at the time. Literally, they had nothing on but their swimsuits and a robe, and I had on a pair of Uggs. I was like, all right, let's go sledding. So we go pull out the sleds that we have just sitting up there in the condo and started going down Big Red at Sugar Mountain. Now, this was like early November, something like that. It was freaking freezing outside, but they were making snow. But what we didn't realize was they were making the snow at the top of the hill,
Not
but not
bottom.
so much in the middle or the bottom. There was some at the bottom, but not a ton. So when we started going down, and second of all, steering a sled down a hill with 3 grown men on it.
So you're like on like the ski slope.
Yes, we went straight down the
You're like on the ski slope.
Yes, we went straight down the ski slope on the Big Red, which is like a medium, if you don't know it. It's not real easy, but it goes into it with 3 grown men. I am steering with my feet, like grinding them on the ground with a pair of Uggs. And like I said, we all looked like Uncle Eddie, had our robes on and going down the mountain with our swimsuits on. And we'd hit a patch of grass and we'd just flip over and fall over. And if you don't know this, Sugar Mountain actually has cameras. You can watch a webcam.
Oh yeah, like to see what the
like
forecast is. Yeah.
and everything else. Yeah. So I was smart enough though to know I am not walking back up that hill.
To be on camera.
No. Just because I wasn't walking.
Oh.
That's a long way to walk back up a ski without a lift. So we take tumbles and tumbles. We hit so hard and so many times I didn't realize at the time there was two of those sleds stacked on top of each other, and we lost one somewhere on the mountain. That's how hard we hit and lost it somewhere. Alcohol might have been involved in this, but when we got down to the bottom of the hill, a security guy comes out. And he looked at us like it was the guy off of National Lampoon's Vacation when he gets out there. And it's like, sorry, we're close. It's like, boys, if y'all do that again, I'm going to have to call the cops. And I looked at him. I'm sitting here in a bathrobe and a pair of Uggs and a swimsuit. And I said, does it look like we're going to do this again? And we took our sleds and we ran off. And I had Bonnie sitting there in a getaway car with a walkie-talkie, so she knew where to pick us up. But my wife was a trooper that day. But
Bonnie always coming in.
I had so many scratches and cuts on me from that sled and falling and hitting a tree and hitting my buddies. But man, we went sledding. We called it urban sledding because it was literally pretty much just a little bit of snow at the top. The rest of it was green grass the whole way down. So you can picture me. It wasn't too long ago whenever all that happened either. So that's
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we've had some good times at some football games. So I one time puked on a kid's foot in line at the Panthers game.
Puked on a kid's foot?
Yeah, so we made Jell-O shots, but it was dudes weekend, and it was like early ball game, the Panthers, so it's like August, really, really hot. Instead of making Jell-O shots in like plastic containers, we made a whole plate of it. And we found a recipe online, it was like from Pinterest, where it's like Jaeger Jell-O shots. Fucking worst idea ever. I mean, worst idea.
If it's got Jaeger in it, I can.
It was Jaeger.
Yeah, go ahead and
I
cut it
love
out.
Jaeger, but this is still the worst idea ever. It was Jaeger and orange Sunkiss, and it started getting hot. But we're just scooping it up. Whatnot.
Oh God!
So the other thing that we have going into the Panthers game is we have the 2-beer rule. You have to drink 2 beers on the way into the stadium. So the rule is you have to drink 2 beers on the way into the stadium.
Like walking in, or
walking in, you have to drink 2 beers. That's just the rule. It's always been that rule. And I had this Jell-O sitting on my stomach, and it was to the point where we were just slurping it up because it was already like not congealed anymore, and it was a bunch of dudes making it, so I'm sure it was way too strong in the first place. And then I started opening my beers, and when I opened my first beer up, so the first one just fizzes off the top, and I just blow off the foam, and I was like, okay, I can handle this. And I drink that first beer, and it's starting to sit real heavy on my stomach. Like, it's like probably
starting
80,
to bubble.
It's starting to like 85 degrees. So you got hot beer and Jaeger Jello shots just sitting on my stomach.
So none of this is even cold. All this is hot.
No, nothing is cold. Nothing is cold at all.
Yeah.
So the next beer, I'm like pounding it in the line. And then it hits me. Like, look, my nipples getting hard just thinking about this. That's how bad it was. It hit me. That second beer, it was coming over the top. It just looked like an explosion. And so I'm in line for security. And I was going, looking around, looking for a trash can and whatnot. And I spewed. And it just a little bit came out. And whenever I did, it was a kid probably 7 to 10 years old.
Oh, God. He wasn't even an adult.
No,
That's
it wasn't.
awful.
Hold on, it gets better. So I take this, I puke on this kid shoe. Like, just not a little bunch, but it was a little bit on his shoe. And I thought, oh, God, I'm about to get my ass beat by his dad. And instead, his dad looks down at him. I swear to God, this is true, too. He goes, it's part of the game, son. It's part of the game. They threw me out of the line. Like, they weren't going to let me in the stadium, no nothing. And I'm like, literally, it's just because I had hot beer on my stomach. So, puked in the trash can, went to a different line, went straight in the ballgame, had a great time. Panthers sure lost. But yes, that is my 2 football stories.
It's a part of the game.
It is a part of the game.
It's a part of the game.
So now I am determined that if something ever happens to my kids at a football game, it's a part of the game. It's a part of the game.